often have you stopped to think about your influences and how much it affects your playing? And especially if you're in the jazz scene or jazz world, you know that's your main focus. How much of the influences from other types of music has really come to affect your playing? So in this episode of Office Hours with Bob Ross, we're going to discuss just that. Now, I'm often been asked about my outside influences and what effect it does have, and also about the use of outside influences on my playing currently. And just as a reminder, I mean, some of you already know this, but as just recapping here and giving a reminder, my influences are more rock-based, metal, and instrumental rock. I'm coming more from that in the early stages and teenage years. And what I would say is that this heavy metal side of things, this instrumental rock thing, in the beginning stages, that was the main thing that I focused on and was trying to figure out how to incorporate that into my playing. But I really couldn't figure out how to actually do that. So it ended up being this really bad hybrid thing that I was trying to do, and it just really didn't work. Really, it was me putting on backing tracks to one I played to a lot was Coltrane's Mr. PC, and I put on this backing track, and you have a C minor blues, and I remember just trying to put as much of the metal stuff over top of it as I could, these rock licks, which can have, I guess, kind of a cool effect to it. However, I wasn't really sounding like anything other than someone doing rock trying to play over top of something that's not rock. So I don't think I really accomplished what I was going for in any sort of way. So what I ended up doing was letting that side go and focusing more on trying to figure out how to play over changes. And what I ended up doing, for the most part, is listening to a heavier style of music and rock and kind of abandoning the idea that I was ever going to be able to mix it into jazz at all. And that's until I was hearing people like Al Di Meola, John McLaughlin, Alan Holdsworth. Later on, I would hear some other people that were incorporating that. And, more recent cases, Pete McCann, Ben Monder. I had no idea really much about Frank Gambale either. I didn't know that there were people that were already bringing in these rock influences. Oh, don't forget to mention Larry Coryell. So there were people that were already doing these things. I just didn't know it. And I was trying to figure out how to incorporate it in some way. And again, what felt to me like a failure at that turned into, I'm going to listen to metal, I'm going to listen to rock, but I'm not even going to try to mix the two at all. I'm going to get really into the traditional style of playing jazz and just let it go, and just, if I want to pursue that, then I'm going to do it over here, and I'll keep the jazz here. Rock stays isolated out by itself. These two are not going to mesh together. So as far as incorporating ideas, I mean, one of the things, when I think back to early stages and trying to create melodies, I remember thinking a lot about Joe Satriani and his melodic style, his way of playing melodies, and wanting to figure out a way to incorporate that into my solos when I was playing. But again, I really couldn't figure out what I was doing with that, because I'll say that if I put it over top of, a tune that was more modal, then I can make it work.